Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a moment of truth. We have been taught to be loyal to people, loyal to places, loyal to the comfort zones that shelter us from storms. But sometimes loyalty becomes a chain that binds us to the past when God, life, or destiny is knocking at the door with new opportunities. It is not disloyal to move forward. It is not betrayal to embrace change. True loyalty is not to a person or a place. It is to your purpose, your growth, and your destiny. When you cling too tightly to what was, you risk missing what could be. You must open your eyes, release your grip, and step boldly into the unknown. The doors that open are not accidents. They are divine invitations to a new season of your life. If you are willing to stay stuck in comfort, you will remain stuck in the same place. But if you dare to say, "No more, I am ready to move on," then the universe will answer with blessings beyond measure. You were not made for yesterday, you were made for tomorrow, so stop being loyal to the old story and start being faithful to the new possibility. There is a story that many of us carry within our hearts, a story shaped by memories, experiences, and attachments to what once was. It is a story filled with chapters we have lived, people we have known, and places where we have poured our time and energy. These chapters create a sense of loyalty, a powerful force that holds us firmly to the familiar. But this loyalty, noble as it may seem, can also become a cage, a set of invisible bars that restrict the movement of our lives and the unfolding of our destinies. Think about the moments when you find yourself unwilling to leave behind a relationship, a job, or a habit that no longer serves you. You may tell yourself, "I've been here for so long," or "I owe it to those who helped me get this far," or "This is what I know, and I don't want to lose it." These thoughts feel like a sacred duty, a responsibility that keeps you grounded. Yet, beneath the surface, they might be the very chains that prevent you from stepping into a greater future. It is not easy to recognize when loyalty shifts from being a strength to becoming a weakness. At first, loyalty can be a source of identity and pride. It feels like faithfulness, a commitment to values, people, and promises. But when this faithfulness transforms into an unyielding attachment, it becomes a limitation. It is like carrying a heavy anchor, hoping it will keep you safe, but instead it drags you down into stagnant waters. The waters of the past are comfortable, yes, but they are also still. They do not flow and they do not refresh. If you remain tethered there too long, you lose the opportunity to grow, to change, to move forward. Many times the past holds a strong emotional grip because it is familiar and safe. Even when circumstances have changed, or when staying where you are causes pain or frustration, the past can feel like a home. The human mind is wired to seek comfort, and change can be terrifying. So we cling to what we know, even if it is no longer beneficial. But what if loyalty to that past actually steals from your future? What if by staying where you are closing the door on something greater that is waiting for you? When you are loyal to a situation that has outlived its purpose, you inadvertently rob yourself of growth. You may hold tight to a job that no longer inspires you, a friendship that drains you, or a dream that has already faded into the shadows of time. This kind of loyalty becomes a prison because it limits your ability to see new possibilities. It blurs your vision, and your heart grows weary because it is caught between what was and what could be. It's important to understand that loyalty to the past is not a failure of character. It is a human tendency. We honor those who have come before us and respect the sacrifices made, but sometimes that respect turns into an obligation that weighs us down. It can be hard to forgive ourselves for letting go of what we once valued deeply. There might be guilt, fear of judgment, or the anxiety of stepping into the unknown. But what if true faithfulness lies not in clinging to the past, but in trusting the journey ahead? What if letting go is the very act of courage that allows you to grow? Imagine your life as a book. Each chapter is significant, and each page carries lessons, triumphs, and tears, yet the story does not end where you have been. It continues to unfold. If you insist on rereading the same pages over and over, refusing to turn the page, you miss the richness of what comes next. The past is a foundation, yes, but a foundation is meant to support a structure that reaches upward and forward, not a wall that traps you inside. Sometimes the voice that tells you to stay loyal is louder because it's coming from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unfamiliar. But fear is not a guide for your life's direction. Faith, hope, and courage are the courage to say, I am worthy of new opportunities. I am not bound by what was, and I trust that my future holds better things. This courage breaks the chains of limitation and opens the door wide to transformation. When you break free from misplaced loyalty, you create space for new relationships, new achievements, and new joy. You invite fresh energy, new ideas, and growth into your life. Sometimes this means walking away from what seems comfortable and stepping boldly into uncertainty. It means believing that the best version of your life has not yet been written. Consider the story of those who have dared to release the past and embrace change. Their lives are testimonies of how stepping out of what was can lead to what is meant to be. They remind us that loyalty is not about clinging to the old. It's about honoring it by using it as a springboard to something greater. They show us that when we let go, the universe makes room for blessings that we could never have imagined while holding on tightly to what no longer serves us. Letting go is not easy. It requires faith in the invisible and trust in the unknown. It asks you to believe in yourself, in your ability to adapt, and in the promise of a future filled with potential. But this is the way to break free from limitation and move toward freedom. So, listen carefully. The past has served its purpose. The lessons learned, the people met, and the paths walked, all have contributed to the person you are today. But now it is time to release what holds you back, not because you are ungrateful, but because you are courageous, not because you lack loyalty, but because you are loyal to your highest calling. The moment you realize that loyalty to the past can become a limitation is the moment your life changes. You begin to see that true faithfulness is not in remaining stuck. It is in moving forward, growing, and becoming all that you were created to be. You are not defined by yesterday's choices or yesterday's circumstances. You are shaped by your willingness to embrace today's possibilities and tomorrow's promise. The chains of loyalty that once bound you will fall away, and you will rise in the freedom of new beginnings. Your future is calling. Will you answer? In life, there are many things that vie for our attention and allegiance. We often find ourselves caught in the tide of daily demands, relationships, environments, and expectations. These external factors pull us in different directions, shaping our decisions and influencing the commitments we make. Yet, beneath all these shifting sands, there is something deeper, something more profound, that calls for our unwavering dedication. It is not the people around us, nor the conditions we find ourselves in, nor the temporary roles we play. It is the very reason we were put here, the purpose that stirs within our souls. Purpose is not a fleeting idea or a passing fancy. It is the core of who we are. It is the mission, the divine assignment, or the personal destiny that drives us forward. It is what gives meaning to our existence beyond the superficial and the temporary. When we anchor ourselves to this deeper cause, our loyalty is rooted in something eternal and transformative. It is not dependent on how comfortable or favorable the circumstances may be at any given moment. Instead, it transcends the ups and downs, the successes and failures, the welcome and rejection. When loyalty is tied to circumstances, whether to a place, a person, or a particular situation, it becomes fragile and conditional. Conditions change, people change, situations evolve. If your commitment wavers with these fluctuations, you find yourself adrift, caught in a cycle of disappointment and confusion. But when your allegiance is to your purpose, You develop a resilience and clarity that no external circumstance can shake. Your purpose becomes your compass, guiding you through storms and calm alike. The distinction between these two kinds of loyalty is profound. Loyalty to circumstances is reactive. It responds to what is visible and immediate. It is like a ship that changes course every time the wind shifts, never quite settling on a true direction. On the other hand, loyalty to your purpose is proactive. It is rooted in vision, in a long-term view of where you are going, even when the road is unclear or difficult. This kind of loyalty demands courage, faith, and sometimes sacrifice, but it also brings peace and fulfillment. Many people find themselves trapped by a sense of obligation to maintain loyalty to what is familiar. The job that pays the bills, the relationship that provides comfort, the community that has accepted them. They may feel that stepping away from these circumstances is betrayal, a failure to honor their commitments. But what if this attachment is actually a misdirection? What if true faithfulness means being honest enough to recognize when a chapter is ending and brave enough to start a new one? Purpose does not ask you to remain stagnant or comfortable. Instead, it invites you to grow, to stretch beyond what you think you can handle, and to become the person you are meant to be. When your loyalty is to your purpose, you recognize that circumstances are only temporary vessels carrying you on your journey. They are means, not ends. They may support or challenge you, but they do not define you. This understanding brings freedom. It allows you to evaluate your situation honestly without being trapped by guilt or fear. You can ask yourself difficult questions. Does this circumstance align with my purpose? Is it helping me move closer to the life I am meant to live? If the answer is no, then it is not disloyal to let go. It is an act of integrity, a way to honor the higher calling that beats within your heart. Sometimes loyalty to purpose means leaving behind the familiar and stepping into uncertainty. It means trusting that even when the path is unclear, you are being guided toward what is best for you. This trust is not blind. It is born from a deep connection to your inner truth and a conviction that your life has meaning beyond the immediate moment. Think of those who have changed careers, moved to new places, or ended long-standing relationships because they sensed a higher calling. These choices are not made lightly. They are often accompanied by fear and doubt, but also by a sense of liberation and hope. When you commit to your purpose, you align your actions with your deepest values and gifts. You begin to live authentically, and that authenticity attracts the right opportunities, people, and experiences into your life. Living with loyalty to your purpose also means understanding that setbacks and failures are not signs of defeat, but lessons along the way. When you are devoted to the mission within you, challenges become stepping stones rather than obstacles. You learn to persevere, adapt, and grow stronger. Your purpose fuels your resilience and gives you the stamina to keep going when circumstances are tough. In contrast, when loyalty is misplaced, every difficulty feels like a defeat, every change feels like a threat, and every disappointment feels like a personal failure. This perspective drains your energy and clouds your vision. But when you hold fast to your purpose, you see each moment as part of a larger tapestry. You understand that even setbacks serve a purpose in your development, preparing you for greater things. This kind of loyalty requires self-awareness and honesty. It calls you to examine your motivations and the reasons behind your commitments. Are you staying somewhere because it feels right deep down, or because you fear change? Are you holding on because of love and respect, or because you don't want to disappoint others or yourself? These are difficult questions, but facing them is necessary for growth. It also calls for discernment. Purpose is not always easy to identify, and it can be mistaken for other desires or pressures. That's why reflection, prayer, meditation, or simply quiet time to listen to your heart are essential. When you tune into the still, small voice within, You gain clarity about what truly matters. And once that clarity comes, loyalty to purpose becomes a source of strength and direction. The power of living in alignment with your purpose cannot be overstated. It transforms your mindset from one of obligation to one of empowerment. It frees you from the fear of change and opens your heart to possibilities. It helps you make decisions that are not reactive or fearful, but thoughtful and inspired. When your loyalty is to your purpose, your life becomes a meaningful journey rather than a series of random events. Moreover, loyalty to purpose deepens your sense of fulfillment. External achievements or approvals may come and go, but the satisfaction of living in accordance with your true calling is lasting. It brings peace, joy, and a sense of contribution that no circumstance can provide. This kind of loyalty honors the unique gifts you bring to the world and encourages you to share them fully. Ultimately, the call is clear. Your highest allegiance is to the mission of your life. No matter what changes around you, no matter what challenges arise, that mission remains. It is the thread that weaves through every experience, the fire that lights your path. When you recognize this and choose to be loyal to it, you are not just surviving, you are thriving. You are stepping into the fullness of who you were meant to be. And that is the greatest loyalty of all. Change is one of the most profound experiences we face in life. It arrives without warning at times, shaking the foundations of what we thought was secure. It can be sudden, sweeping, and overwhelming, or it can creep in quietly, almost unnoticed, until one day we realize that nothing is quite the same. Despite how unsettling change can feel, it is not something to fear or resist. Rather, it is a sacred call, an invitation from the universe, from God, or from life itself, asking us to step into a new chapter. When we think about change, many of us immediately associate it with loss or discomfort. We remember the good things we had to leave behind, the security we once enjoyed, and the familiar rhythms that made us feel safe. It's natural to grieve what is ending, yet beneath that grief lies a deeper truth. Change is not punishment or misfortune. It is a door opening, a new opportunity knocking, a pathway toward growth and transformation. It beckons us forward even when our hearts are hesitant. There is a divine wisdom woven into every season of change. It is as if the very fabric of life is designed to bring us into alignment with our highest destiny through these transitions. The moment we encounter change, we are being invited to shed what no longer serves us. We are being asked to release old identities, outdated beliefs, and worn-out patterns that have kept us confined. This invitation is not always comfortable, but it is always purposeful. Consider the natural world. Trees shed their leaves in autumn, allowing them to conserve energy and prepare for new growth. Rivers change course over time, carving new paths through the landscape. Even the stars shift their positions in the heavens. Change is a constant in creation, and it is always a movement towards something greater. In the same way, the changes we experience are part of a divine rhythm, leading us toward renewal and abundance. When we resist change, we are resisting this divine flow. We cling to what we know, hoping to control outcomes and avoid uncertainty. But resistance only leads to frustration and stagnation. It is like trying to hold back the tide with our bare hands. Eventually, the force of life's movement will carry us forward, whether we are ready or not. The difference lies in how we respond, whether with fear and reluctance or with openness and faith. Seeing change as an invitation transforms our perspective. Instead of being victims of circumstance, we become active participants in our own evolution. We recognize that every ending is also a beginning, every challenge a chance to learn, and every upheaval an opportunity to grow stronger. This shift in mindset empowers us to face transitions with courage and grace, trusting that we are being guided to where we need to be. There is a sacred timing to change, too. It does not happen arbitrarily, but arrives at the precise moment when we are ready to receive it, even if we do not realize it at first. Sometimes life orchestrates events in ways we cannot understand, preparing us in hidden ways for what lies ahead. When we open ourselves to this timing, we align with a higher purpose and allow the unfolding of our journey to be as it should be. This divine invitation often calls us to step out of our comfort zone. It asks us to take risks, to embrace uncertainty, and to trust that the unknown holds blessings greater than the familiar. This can be terrifying because the unknown feels like a void, a place without the safety nets we rely on. But it is precisely in this space that transformation happens. It is the fertile ground where new dreams take root and new strengths emerge. The process of responding to change requires faith, not just in a religious sense, but in a deeper trust in life itself. It means believing that there is meaning behind the upheaval, that even when the path is unclear, we are not alone. This faith sustains us when doubt creeps in, when fear whispers that we are making a mistake, or when the weight of uncertainty feels heavy. Faith helps us move forward step by step, knowing that the journey is unfolding as it should. Another aspect of this divine invitation is the gift of perspective. When change comes, it challenges us to see beyond our immediate circumstances. It pushes us to expand our vision, to consider possibilities we had not imagined before. This expansion can lead to breakthroughs in how we understand ourselves and our place in the world. It encourages creativity, resilience, and innovation. We may find that doors close so that better ones can open. Relationships may shift or end, making room for new connections that nurture our growth. Career changes may redirect us toward work that aligns more deeply with our values and passions. Even difficult transitions, such as loss or failure, can become catalysts for profound personal transformation. The invitation in change is to trust that what is coming is designed to lead us into a fuller expression of who we are meant to be. This does not mean the journey is always easy. There will be moments of doubt, pain, and loneliness, but these moments are part of the sacred process of growth. They teach us resilience and deepen our empathy for others. They remind us that transformation is not about perfection, but about progress, about becoming more whole and authentic with each step we take. Embracing change as a divine invitation also calls us to practice patience. Sometimes the new season we long for takes time to arrive. The seeds planted during change need time to sprout and grow. Rushing or forcing outcomes often leads to frustration. Patience allows us to surrender control and trust in the natural unfolding of our lives. In embracing this sacred invitation, we begin to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Even when change feels difficult, we can be thankful for the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to move closer to our true path. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we have lost to what we stand to gain. It opens our hearts and minds to the blessings that surround us, even in the midst of uncertainty. Ultimately, change is an expression of life's generosity. It is a gift wrapped in challenge and opportunity. It is an opening for us to become more fully ourselves, to discover strengths we did not know we had, and to align with the purpose that calls us forward. When we accept change as a divine invitation, we enter into a sacred dance with life, one of trust, surrender, courage, and hope. No matter where you find yourself today, whether on the cusp of a new beginning or in the depths of transition, know this: you are being called forward. The doors of opportunity are opening for you. The universe is inviting you to step into the next chapter with faith and courage. You are not alone. The divine is guiding you every step of the way. The question is not if change will come, but how you will respond when it does. Will you resist and hold on tightly, or will you open your hands, your heart, and your spirit to the beautiful possibility waiting for you? The choice is yours. Embrace the invitation. Walk boldly through the open door. Your new season awaits. There is a force that holds many people captive, an unseen, silent force that binds the spirit and dims the light within. It is not a physical chain or a visible barrier, but a feeling so powerful that it can freeze us in place, even when we know deep down that moving forward is what we need. This force is fear. More specifically, it is the fear of the unknown. The unknown is that vast, mysterious space beyond the boundaries of our comfort and familiarity. It is the place where certainty fades, and the path forward is unclear. To face the unknown requires stepping into a darkness where we cannot see the next step, where the outcomes are uncertain, and where risk feels real and immediate. This uncertainty can be terrifying. It triggers an instinctual response in the human mind, one that often says, "Stay put, stay safe, do not move." Fear of the unknown is natural. It has been part of the human experience since the beginning of time. Our ancestors depended on caution to survive. Stepping blindly into danger was not an option. This survival mechanism is embedded deep within us, designed to protect us from harm. But while this instinct may have served us well in physical terms, it can also limit us in profound ways when it comes to personal growth and change. When we allow fear of the unknown to rule our decisions, we remain stuck in the same place, unable to move toward new opportunities or experiences. We cling to what is familiar, even if it no longer serves us, because it feels safer than venturing into the uncertainty of what lies ahead. The comfort zone, though confining, becomes a place of false security where we convince ourselves that staying put is the wisest choice. This fear can manifest in many ways. It might appear as procrastination, hesitation, or self-doubt. We find reasons not to take risks, to delay decisions, or to avoid stepping out of the known. Sometimes this fear disguises itself as practicality or responsibility, making us feel justified in staying where we are. We tell ourselves, "I can't leave this job," or "I can't end this relationship," or "I'm not ready for that change." When beneath these statements lies a deeper truth, we are afraid of what comes next. But here is the reality. Fear of the unknown is the very thing that keeps us from becoming who we were meant to be. It acts like quicksand, pulling us deeper into inertia the more we resist. The longer we stay stuck, the more our dreams and potentials wither away. We begin to lose faith in ourselves and the possibilities around us. Our vision shrinks and hope dims. The truth is that growth and transformation require movement. They demand that we walk into the uncertainty, knowing that the path will not always be clear, but trusting that it will lead us somewhere better. Every significant change in life, whether it's a new career, a move to a different place, a new relationship, or a spiritual awakening, requires stepping beyond the familiar into the unknown. It is in that space that courage is born. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. Rather, it means feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. It means making the conscious decision to refuse to let fear dictate your life. When you choose courage over comfort, you begin to break free from the paralysis that fear creates. You start to open doors that have been closed by doubt and hesitation. The unknown is not an enemy, it is a blank canvas. It holds potential and possibility. When we lean into it, we discover strengths we didn't know we had. We learn resilience as we navigate new challenges. We experience growth that would be impossible if we stayed anchored to what is safe and known. The unknown becomes the gateway to a richer, fuller life. Many of the most inspiring stories in history are about individuals who faced their fears and embraced the unknown. They stepped out of their comfort zones, leaving behind security and certainty to pursue a vision or calling that was greater than their fears. Their journeys were not without struggle, but their willingness to confront the unknown transformed their lives, and the lives of those around them. It's important to recognize that fear of the unknown often feeds on imagined scenarios and worst case thinking. Our minds have a tendency to create stories about what could go wrong, often exaggerating risks and minimizing our ability to cope. This mental loop traps us in anxiety and prevents us from seeing the opportunities that change brings. Awareness of this pattern is the first step toward breaking it. To overcome this fear, it helps to focus on small steps rather than giant leaps. Moving forward doesn't mean you have to know every detail of the journey. It means taking one step at a time, learning as you go, and adjusting your course as needed. Each small act of courage builds momentum and confidence. Over time, these steps accumulate into significant progress. Another powerful tool is shifting your mindset from fear to curiosity. Instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" ask, "What if this leads to something amazing?" Curiosity opens the mind to exploration and discovery, reducing the grip of fear. It invites you to see the unknown not as a threat, but as a field of possibility. Support is also vital when facing the unknown. Surrounding yourself with encouraging people who believe in your potential can make a profound difference. They remind you of your strengths when doubt creeps in and help you keep your eyes on the horizon. You don't have to face the unknown alone. Community and connection provide strength and reassurance. Moreover, faith plays a crucial role. Whether it is faith in a higher power, faith in life itself, or faith in your own inner guidance, believing that there is a purpose behind your journey sustains you. Faith helps you trust that even when the road is unclear, you are being led towards something good. It offers comfort in the midst of uncertainty. Letting go of the need for certainty is liberating. It allows you to embrace the adventure of life with all its unpredictability. You begin to see that life's greatest treasures often lie just beyond the veil of fear. The experiences, relationships, and growth waiting for you on the other side are worth the discomfort of stepping into the unknown. Imagine what your life would look like if you refused to let fear hold you back. What dreams would you pursue? What relationships would you nurture? What talents would you develop? How much more alive, joyful, and fulfilled could you be? The choice is clear. Remain stuck in the comfort of the known, or step boldly into the uncertainty of possibility. It won't always be easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. The path through fear leads to freedom, to growth, and to the life you were meant to live. So, when fear of the unknown whispers its lies, remember this. The unknown is not a prison, it is a door. Open it, walk through it. Your future is waiting on the other side. There is a profound challenge that many people face on their journey through life. A challenge that asks them to look beyond what has been and to place their trust in what could be. It is the challenge of releasing past attachments and embracing faith in new possibilities. This process is often difficult because the past holds a certain power over us. It is familiar, comfortable in its way, and has shaped who we are. Yet, at the same time, clinging to the past can limit us, keeping us from stepping fully into the abundant life that awaits when we dare to believe in something new. Our attachments to the past come in many forms. They might be memories of better times, relationships that once felt secure, identities we have held onto, or routines that gave us a sense of stability. These attachments provide a sense of safety, a known reference point in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. The stories we tell ourselves about who we are and where we come from become the lenses through which we see the future. But when these stories become chains, they imprison us, preventing us from moving forward. Faith in new possibilities is the act of trusting that what lies ahead is worthy of our attention, energy, and hope. It is an intentional choice to believe that the future holds promise, even when it is unclear or uncertain. This kind of faith requires courage because it asks us to loosen our grip on the past, to let go of what we thought we needed or who we thought we were, and to open ourselves to transformation. The past can be a powerful teacher, but it is not meant to be a permanent residence. When we hold too tightly to what has been, we risk living in yesterday's story, replaying old patterns and missing the new blessings that await. Faith in new possibilities invites us to turn the page, to write a new chapter, and to live a life that is not defined by what once was, but by what can become. This shift is not easy. It requires a deep inner work of healing and forgiveness. Sometimes the past is marked by pain, disappointment, or regret. The attachments we hold onto may be tied to loss or unfulfilled dreams. Carrying these burdens can weigh heavily on the heart, making it hard to imagine a different future. But faith offers a way forward. It gives us the strength to heal, to release what no longer serves us, and to trust in a greater plan for our lives. Faith in new possibilities also calls us to embrace change with an open heart. Change often triggers resistance because it challenges the comfort of the familiar. Yet, change is the doorway through which new possibilities enter. When we lean into change with faith rather than fear, we begin to see opportunities where before we saw only obstacles. We learn that every ending is a beginning in disguise, that loss can lead to gain, and that the unknown can be filled with promise. This faith fuels hope, which is more than mere optimism. Hope is a deep, seated conviction that good things are coming, that growth is possible, and that life can surprise us with blessings even in the most unexpected ways. It is the light that shines in the darkness, the anchor that holds us steady in the storm. When faith and hope combine, they empower us to step out in new directions with confidence. One of the most beautiful aspects of having faith in new possibilities is that it invites creativity and vision. It encourages us to dream beyond the limitations of our past experiences and to imagine a life that aligns more closely with our true desires and potential. This vision becomes a beacon, guiding us toward actions and choices that nurture growth and fulfillment. The journey toward faith in new possibilities often involves taking risks. It means stepping out of comfort zones, embracing uncertainty, and sometimes facing the unknown with nothing but belief to sustain us. Yet, these risks are necessary for transformation. Without risk, there is no growth. Without faith, there is no progress. The willingness to trust in new possibilities opens doors that were previously invisible. Support from others can play a crucial role in this journey. Surrounding ourselves with people who encourage our faith, who believe in our potential, and who walk alongside us in times of doubt strengthens our resolve. Connection and community provide both reassurance and inspiration. They remind us that we are not alone in the pursuit of a new life, and that others have also taken the courageous step of letting go of past attachments to embrace new beginnings. At the heart of faith in new possibilities is a deep awareness of our own worth and the unique gifts we bring to the world. When we believe that we are capable and deserving of a better future, we are more likely to take the steps necessary to create it. This self-belief is not arrogance but a recognition of our inherent value and purpose. As we place faith in what lies ahead rather than what we leave behind, we begin to live with greater intention and presence. We stop reacting out of fear or habit and start acting with purpose and clarity. Each choice becomes a declaration of trust in the unfolding journey, a testament to our commitment to growth and renewal. It is important to remember that faith in new possibilities does not mean forgetting or disrespecting the past. Instead, it means honoring the lessons learned, the growth experienced, and the foundations laid, while not allowing them to confine us. The past is the soil from which new life grows, not a cage that restricts movement. In embracing this faith, we become co-creators of our destiny. We partner with the flow of life, opening ourselves to inspiration, guidance, and unexpected opportunities. We learn to listen to the whispers of possibility that call us forward and to respond with trust rather than hesitation. This journey is ongoing. Faith in new possibilities is not a one-time decision, but a continual commitment to choose hope, courage, and openness every day. It requires patience and perseverance, especially when the road ahead is uncertain or when old attachments pull at us with longing, but the rewards of this faith are immense. It brings freedom from the chains of the past, a renewed sense of purpose, and the joy of discovering who we truly are beyond the limitations of what we have known. It opens the door to a future filled with potential and promise, inviting us to live boldly and fully. So, if you find yourself holding tightly to what has been, know that it is okay to feel that attachment. It is part of being human, but also know that you have within you the power to release and to believe in the new possibilities waiting to unfold. Have faith that your life is not defined by what you leave behind, but by the courage you have to embrace what lies ahead. Step forward with hope, trust in the journey, and watch as new possibilities transform your life in ways you never imagined. Life is a continuous journey, unfolding moment by moment, day by day. Yet so often we find ourselves trapped in the past, looking back at what has already happened, clinging to memories, mistakes, and what-ifs. We replay scenes in our minds, lingering on regrets or lost opportunities. We might long for the good old days, or feel burdened by failures that seem to define us. But the truth is, we were not created to live in the shadow of yesterday. We were made for tomorrow, the promise of new beginnings, fresh possibilities, and the unfolding of a purpose that is greater than what has already been. The past can feel like a heavy weight anchoring us in place. It shapes our identity and informs our choices, but it is not the sum total of who we are or who we can become. Yesterday is a finished chapter, a story that has already been written. No matter how much time we spend looking back, the events of the past cannot be changed. Holding on to the past too tightly can blind us to the opportunities that await us just beyond the horizon. When we recognize that we were made for tomorrow, we open ourselves to hope. Hope is the light that illuminates the path ahead, even when the way forward is unclear. It reminds us that no matter what happened yesterday, we are not defined by it. We are more than our mistakes, more than our losses, and more than the circumstances that once held us down. We have the power to choose a new direction, to dream new dreams, and to step boldly into the future. Living for tomorrow means embracing change and growth. It means understanding that life is not static, but a dynamic process of becoming. Each new day offers a fresh canvas on which we can paint our hopes and aspirations. When we hold on to yesterday's failures or successes, we limit our capacity to grow. Tomorrow is not a repeat of the past. It is a blank slate, filled with infinite possibilities. This mindset requires courage because the future is unknown. It asks us to release the comfort of familiarity and to trust in what has not yet been revealed. It challenges us to believe in our potential even when we cannot see the full picture. But within this unknown lies the promise of transformation, the chance to reinvent ourselves and to live more fully than ever before. The idea that we were made for tomorrow also invites us to forgive ourselves and others. Often, the past holds wounds that have not healed, mistakes we regret or betrayals that still sting. Carrying these hurts with us prevents us from moving forward. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to tomorrow. It allows us to release resentment and pain, freeing our hearts to embrace new joy and peace. Furthermore, when we focus on tomorrow, we become intentional about the life we want to create. We begin to set goals and take actions aligned with our dreams rather than being driven by past failures or fears. This shift in focus empowers us to live with purpose and clarity. We start to see ourselves not as victims of our history, but as architects of our destiny. Living for tomorrow also means cultivating resilience. Life will always bring challenges and setbacks, but these do not have to define us. Each difficulty is an opportunity to learn, to grow stronger, and to develop the character needed for the journey ahead. Resilience is the bridge between yesterday's struggles and tomorrow's victories. It is important to remember that embracing tomorrow does not mean ignoring the lessons of the past. The experiences we have had are valuable guides that inform our wisdom and understanding. But we must be careful not to let them become chains. The past should be a teacher, not a prison. When we internalize the truth that we were made for tomorrow, we tap into a deeper sense of purpose. We realize that our lives are part of a larger story, one that is unfolding in ways we may not yet comprehend. This awareness brings peace amid uncertainty, knowing that each step forward is part of a divine plan or a greater design. Imagine how different life would be if each morning we woke with the conviction that we were created for the future, not the past. How much more could we accomplish? How much more joy and peace could we experience? How much more could we love and be loved? The power of this truth transforms the way we view setbacks and failures. Instead of seeing them as endpoints, we understand them as stepping stones, necessary parts of the journey that prepare us for what is next. Each failure carries within it the seeds of growth, if only we have the eyes to see them. This perspective encourages us to be patient with ourselves. Growth is not always immediate or easy. Sometimes the process of moving from yesterday to tomorrow involves seasons of waiting, reflection, and healing. Patience allows us to trust in the timing of our lives, knowing that the future will unfold in its perfect season. Choosing to live for tomorrow also inspires gratitude. When we are focused on what can be, we appreciate the gift of each new day. We become aware of the endless possibilities before us and find joy in the simple act of moving forward. Gratitude turns our gaze away from loss and toward abundance. This truth also invites us to dream bigger. When we release the limitations imposed by the past, we free ourselves to envision a life beyond our current circumstances. We begin to imagine new goals, new relationships, new paths that reflect the fullness of who we are meant to be. Dreaming becomes a form of faith, a declaration that tomorrow is filled with promise. In embracing tomorrow, we also embrace responsibility. We recognize that the future is shaped by the choices we make today. This awareness empowers us to act with integrity and purpose, to be mindful of how we spend our time and energy, and to invest in what truly matters. The promise of tomorrow gives us hope when we face uncertainty and fear. It reminds us that no matter how dark yesterday may have been, the sun will rise again. Each new day carries the potential for healing, renewal, and breakthrough. Ultimately, the truth that we were made for tomorrow, not yesterday, is a call to live boldly and fully. It is an invitation to step out of the shadows of the past and into the light of the future. It challenges us to believe in ourselves and the path that lies ahead, even when the way is not clear. So, if you find yourself weighed down by yesterday, by regrets, mistakes, or memories, remember this: you were not made to live there. You were made for tomorrow. Your future is waiting, full of hope, promise, and purpose. Step forward with courage, embrace the new day, live for the tomorrow you were created to see. As we come to the close of this reflection, I want you to feel deeply the truth that you were not made to be chained by the past. You were not designed to be held hostage by yesterday's disappointments, mistakes, or losses. No, you were created for something far greater. You were made for tomorrow. Tomorrow holds a promise, an open door waiting for you to walk through it with hope and courage. It is a chance to begin again, to rewrite your story, and to live the life you were meant to live. But this promise will remain just that, a promise, unless you decide today to step into it with intention. Understand this: the past is a teacher, but it is not a master. It should guide you, not govern you. It should inform your wisdom, not imprison your spirit. When you hold on too tightly to what has been, you block the blessings and opportunities that are coming your way. The chains of yesterday's regrets can only be broken by the key of faith in the future. Faith is not blind, it is not naive. It is a confident expectation that your life can change, that you can grow, and that the best is yet to come. When you place your faith in tomorrow, you are choosing to believe in the unseen, to trust in your own strength, your own resilience, and the possibilities that lie just beyond what you can currently see. This faith will require courage. It will ask you to move forward even when the path is uncertain, to take steps that may feel risky or uncomfortable. But know this, courage is born not in the absence of fear, but in the decision to act despite it. When you decide to live for tomorrow, you are choosing courage over comfort, hope over fear, and progress over stagnation. There will be moments when the past tries to pull you back, when old doubts whisper in your ear, when pain tries to resurface, or when fear of failure threatens to paralyze you. In those moments, remind yourself that you are not defined by those voices. You are defined by the strength to rise above them, the wisdom to learn from them, and the determination to keep moving forward. Living for tomorrow means living with purpose. It means setting your sights on a future that aligns with your deepest dreams and values. It means making choices today that honor who you are becoming, not who you were yesterday. This requires clarity, commitment, and a willingness to grow. But the rewards are immense. A life filled with meaning, joy, and the fulfillment of your true potential. Remember, the sun rises every morning, offering a new beginning, a fresh start. No matter how dark the night was, the dawn always breaks. Your life is no different. Every day is a gift, a chance to turn the page, to write a new chapter, and to step more fully into the destiny that awaits you. You have within you the power to change your story. You have the strength to let go of the past and the faith to embrace the future. You have the courage to face the unknown and the vision to see the possibilities that lie ahead. So today, I challenge you to make a choice. Choose to live for tomorrow. Choose to believe that your best days are not behind you but ahead of you. Choose to walk forward with hope in your heart and purpose in your steps. When you do this, you will find that life begins to unfold in new and wonderful ways. Doors you never imagined will open. Opportunities will arise that seem tailor-made for your growth. You will discover strength you never knew you had and joy that comes from knowing you are living true to who you were created to be. No longer bound by yesterday, you become free, free to soar, to dream, to achieve, and to live a life of abundant promise. This is your moment. This is your time. You were made for tomorrow, not yesterday. Step boldly into your future and watch how your life transforms. Thank you.